about speaking on things such as faith and politics, we have to remember in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D over there on the other side of the glass. Nina's over there in the breaking newsroom, and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. And what a day, what a day, what a day. Alligator Alcatraz open for business, and the President of the United States, along with others, visiting. We're going to have all the audio, and there's a ton of audio, including some interesting statements by the President of the United States about the governor. And it was very, I'm going to say it was very Star Trek-esque. Star Trek-esque is what the President said about Governor DeSantis. Do you have any idea where I'm going with this at all?
No idea.
Good. All right. That's what I like. I like when you have absolutely no idea what I'm getting ready to do, because usually it ends in fun and frivolity, and sometimes it just goes and just ends with a thud. We'll see. Also, the one big beautiful bill has passed, sort of. I mean, it's passed the Senate, but there's a lot more work to do. And let's just put it this way. You got to realize the reality that's on the other side of this, which is we might get ugly really fast. Just saying. 5150. 5150 isn't just the vote count, everybody. 5150 for those that are Van Halen fans know what that means too. Right, D? 5150? The number's 5150?
Yeah, right.
You have... All right, so first of all, was the Van Halen 5150... the coding that I was putting out there, you don't know about the 5150 Van Halen album?
I do not.
Okay. Do you know about 5150 as a number? Look under, I guess, type into the famous Google machine, 5150 law enforcement, and just see what pops up. And then you'll understand how it could get a little crazy. And then just ding me when you're ready to come back so we can explain it to the audience, because it's just... Anyway, enough of me.
Okay.
You ready? Okay, you're back. So now...
Al Gore's internet is pretty quick.
Yeah, so now you realize what I'm talking about, right? Where 5150 can get a little crazy?
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Look it up on your own. We've got other things to do. Like, we got to play some audio. So let's go. All right, so... The president visited put a couple of D's in there. Visited the Alligator Alcatraz, the illegal holding facility, the center in the swamps of South Florida. And he toured the facility with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Governor DeSantis, the Free State of Florida governor, as well as others. And, a couple of things that were said. First, why don't we go right to the very beginning of the day, where we had a little bit of fun and funny from the President of the United States. So why don't we play this, because he's getting ready to leave the White House. That was this morning. And he's going to make his way to South Florida to tour the facilities. And some people were asking about, oh, man, I'll tell you what, the alligators, the live animals that are surrounding Alligator Alcatraz, it could get pretty dangerous. Here, listen.
The Alligator Alcatraz is the idea that if we just get eaten by an alligator or a snake or something.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the whole idea of the Alligator Alcatraz is if you leave, you escape, you can get eaten by a snake or an alligator or something.
I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If snakes are fast, but alligators are, but we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison. How to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%. Okay?
D, do you know what he's talking about there? As he's talking about running away from an alligator, do you know anything about this? Maybe, maybe not.
I don't think I'm following.
Okay, so here's the thing. When you run, alligators don't move. When he kept doing this thing with his hand, alligators don't move laterally. They move straight ahead. You know, they kind of move a little bit right or left, but it's very little. They can't move laterally. So as long as you know how to run away from an alligator, you got to do the lateral moves. You got to get to the side of them because they can't move sideways. That kind of thing. So he was like, you got to teach them how to run away from the alligator. Now do you get it a little bit? Yeah, maybe, kind of, sort of.
I get it.
Yeah. All right. So then the president lands, and he's checking out the facilities, and the governor's right there with him. First, before we even get to that moment where the governor and the president are talking about this, there were some very nice moments. Let's see. One of them was, let's go to this. All right. So here was a little bit of the relationship between President Trump and Ron DeSantis. So this came up. Here, listen.
Yeah, you stand here now as partners on this effort. How would you describe the relationship, and what future does Governor DeSantis have?
I think it's a 10. Maybe 9-9, because there might be a couple of little wounds. So maybe it's 9-9. I think we have a 10. We get along great.
Well, the thing about it is, I endorsed him immediately in January 2024. I raised one of his PACs millions and millions of dollars, and obviously we saved him a lot of money in Florida because Florida was a deep red state. He didn't even have to do a rally in Florida, whereas 2016 and 20, this was like ground zero. Yeah. And so we've been, really happy to do that. And then we've worked very well on this and other issues with Florida. You can call him at any time, and he wants to be helpful for governors. I mean, I can tell you that. We did Hurricane Helene last year. You didn't hear from the president at the time then. But with President Trump, we know immediately, you just make the phone call.
Yeah, a follow-up question. I'm sorry, like another thing you inherited. How firm are you going to be with Netanyahu about him?
All right, so he gets into Netanyahu. I don't want to get to that. I just wanted to talk about the relationship between the president and the governor. Sounds like it's pretty good, everybody. It sounds like a really good relationship going on. So that was good to hear, the positive vibes out of the president and the governor. Also, a couple of other things that were going on. Let me see if I can find some of this audio here. Let's play a little bit of what the president was describing for people that may have been watching on, I don't know, like CNN, MSNBC, the left-leaning Democrat-run legacy media outlets. What do they call them? The
fake news.
Yeah, those guys. So here's a little bit of what we've had to deal with as the president was describing this, among other things, because of prior administrations.
To do in the 4 years before I took office, Joe Biden allowed 21 million people, that's a minimum, I think it was much higher than that, illegal aliens to invade our country. He invaded our country just like a military would invade. It's tougher because they don't wear uniforms. You don't know who they are. More than the populations of New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, and Philadelphia combined. That's what came into our country from prisons, from mental institutions, from street gangs, drug dealers. It's disgusting. This enormous country-destroying invasion has swamped communities nationwide with massive crime, crippling costs, and burdens far beyond what any nation could withstand. No nation could withstand what we did, and we're in the process of doing it, but we have some great people doing it now, and you see them up here with me. But it's, I'd call it like an unforced era. It's sort of like men and women sports. It's sort of like transgender for everybody. How could they have done this to our country?
Wow. So the president was, just in case you didn't know, was describing what was happening with the amount of people coming into the country illegally and what we've had to deal with. And, is it really fair to talk about people that were brought in mental institutions and some of the different people and issues that we've had? I mean, look, it's not crazy over the top crazy. I mean, we're not talking about like cannibalism or anything like that. I mean, at least it's not
breaking news.
A bombshell. Oh wait, just in. Hold on, just hand it to me. What is this? We're talking about cannibalism?
By thanking our ICE officers and our Border Patrol officers for what they do every day. They are out on the streets, and violence against them has increased over 500% since Trump has gone back into the White House, because he's upholding the law and because a bunch of liberals, socialists, and Marxists are out there lying about what President Trump is doing. President Trump is upholding freedom by what he is doing. The freedom to live safely in this country and to do things legally and to have justice. And because those liberals, and I'm calling out you, CNN, I'm calling you out because you lie every single day about what these operations are. We are going after murderers and rapists and traffickers and drug dealers and getting them off the streets and getting them out of this country because Joe Biden let the worst of the worst come in here. The other day I was talking to some marshals that have been partnering with ICE. They said that they had detained a cannibal and put him on a plane to take him home. And while they had him in his seat, he started to eat himself.
Good night, everybody. That's it. I'm out. That's D. I think I'm done. I'm done today. That's it.
Yeah, we don't need any more news.
Wow. That's what? Yeah. Was anybody? What was? All right. Let it play. Go ahead.
And they had to get him off and get him medical attention. These are the kind of deranged individuals that are on our streets in America that we're trying to target and get out of our country because they are so deranged they don't belong here.
Wow. That was news to me. I think that was news to a lot of people. I think that was news to the president. What about that part of the discussion? Wow. So cannibalism taking place. So that was Kristi Noem talking about what has been happening with deportations and the immigration roundtable that was happening at the New Florida detention facility there in Okeechobee. And so we've got more audio, a ton of audio from today, more from the governor and some of what he had to say, some more of what the president had to say about even some of the heinous acts that have been committed by others in this country. He's definitely going to be making some CNN, MSNBC news like, how dare the president say that? Although he is really speaking for many people when he talks bluntly and honestly about the concerns we have about the safety and security of our streets. So there was some of that out there. So we're going to get to it coming up in just a bit. All right. What else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Hit me. I don't know. Perusing some of the stories around the state. I saw this one. You know, this isn't... This is one of those stories that I might save for the end of the program. Dee loves when I put a bow on the show. It's the end of the program. And typically, I try to end with some kicker story, some fun little anecdote. You know, Dee, something that we kind of leave everybody with. We kind of just put it out there. And it's sort of, sometimes it's a feel good. Sometimes it's just silly. I don't know. This could be one of those. But I'm going to put it out here now because... to me, this is newsworthy. The Orlando Sentinel had a story yesterday talking about Resort Pass. Resort Pass enables daytime access to 400 hotel pools, spas, and amenities in the state of Florida. Hey, can I say that again? You can go to a website that grants daytime access to resort pool areas, spa facilities, and sometimes rooms available for just a day, all at a fraction of the cost what the overnight would cost. Have you ever been to a resort? D, maybe I'm asking you. Have you ever been to a resort and you're just saving up and you're so excited to go and you go to the resort and you're like, wow, I don't remember the pool being this busy. I don't remember that there being that many people at the pool. It's almost overwhelming. Like there's hardly a place to sit, and I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of people here. Have you ever had those moments at all?
I can't. Nothing that comes to mind.
Okay, you haven't been in the state of Florida long enough. That's why. That's what it is. Because when you're here long enough, sometimes you say those things. And I know there are people that are listening to the sound of my voice like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, is this why? Is the reason why? I'm just wondering if it seems like it's a good idea or a bad idea where you would have a place that you could go that you would just be able to basically rent the hotel pool that the people that are staying at the hotel pool thought was all theirs. And then you get people from outside coming into the pool. And next thing you know, it's like, what? This is just way too many people. I've seen this before. Like pools where I felt like, man, is the hotel that busy? Maybe now I know why that's happening. I don't know. I just saw that story pop up and I was like, oh, I get it now. All right. I'm on an island. I could see that. Never mind. All right. Why don't we move on to a different story? How about this one? So, the people of Key West, we love Key West. It's a beautiful place to be. We love being on the air in Key West. We love the fact that there are people who have reached out to us from Key West in the past to talk about that they love hearing the program there. We appreciate it. Key West commissioners voted 6-1 to nullify the city's 287G agreement, effectively ending the local police department's formal partnership with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. Now, I'm just going to say this. Now, why did I say that in music? I say that in music because are you sure about that? Are you positive that no one's going to have a say in this? I have a name in mind of somebody who might be knocking at the door soon to ask a couple of questions. Stand by. The decision followed a session filled with public comments from residents who packed City Hall on Monday. A city spokesperson confirmed that the majority of commissioners approved an updated resolution invalidating their most recent agreement with the Federal Immigration Agency, an accord signed just last March. So March, they got together and like, yep, we're going to be part of the 287G program. And then apparently the people in the community were like, no, we're not doing this. Now, if you know something about Key West, it might be, I don't know. Sometimes it's not as conservative an area of the state as you might imagine. I'm just putting that out there. It happens. And so there are probably some people who may have been a little bit more activist-minded with this decision, because when you think about it, 287G program, trying to keep the streets safe all over the state of Florida, including in Key West. And there are some who, I don't know, don't want to keep the streets that safe, or they just feel like it's, Trump, orange man bad. It's like, the thing that you would see.
I don't see no stinking Nazis in here.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, going back to that. All right. So they decided that, all right, we'll change our mind. The residents erupt in applause because they probably were like, we're watching you. The next election, we're going to make sure that you're not going to be there on the dais the next time. Some of these things, I don't know what they were thinking. But municipal and local police departments are not explicitly required to join the 287G program. However, the governor and the Florida Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, who was, by the way, at the presser today with the president and the governor at Alligator Alcatraz, have argued that under the state's sanctuary law, they are mandated to do so. Well, here comes the knock on the door. Hold on a second. Here it is. Hello, it's me, James. I'm sorry. Forgive me if the Attorney General is listening. I don't do a very good impression of anybody, and that really sounded nothing like you. It's me, it's James. So the Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, said on his X account, here we go again. Not in Florida. We will ensure law and order and be a force multiplier for ICE's enforcement of immigration laws. I hope Key West chooses the easy way, not the hard way. Oh boy. We're about to find out, aren't we? And I apologize again. I'm sorry that was not a James Uthmeyer voice. I wasn't trying to do his voice. I was just trying to do a voice, and that's the one that came out. I don't know why. So, do you accept my apology? I'm making believe like
I do. I'm not sure if everyone else will.
All right, that's fine. Okay, I'm apologizing to you. You're like the ombudsman, so if you accept my apology, then I'm assuming that everyone will accept my apology as well. Yeah, that was weird. But you get the point. The point is, not in Florida, and we're going to see what they're going to do in Key West and what the Attorney General plans on doing, if anything, to keep an eye on this story. And knowing the Attorney General as we do, I think he's going to keep an eye on it, and he's someone who definitely cares about law and order in the state. So we will see. All right. 866-588-8303 is the phone number. Anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303. If you want to listen on your own for some reason, you're not able to check out the program when we're live Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m., or just any time during the day you want to check out the program, if you go to my website, drewsteele.com, Steele has 3 E's. It plays on the website there 24/7. Also, you can check out the podcast, so it's right there too. You can listen at your convenience. No problem at all. The only problem that we might have around here in the state at this moment would definitely be the weather and some of the issues that we constantly have with said weather. And I think we all know what the biggest problem is, and the biggest problem is the heat that we have to deal with what's going on right now with the heat and the humidity and all the things that we can't have go away, like air conditioning. So, the heat's not going to take a day off. How's your AC doing? Well, you need to make sure it's running right. Even the best systems have to be checked out every once in a while, don't they? So if it's down, then you're really in bad shape. Well, get a hold of Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. They'll show up fast. They do the job right. What is it you need? Maybe you just need a tune-up, a Strata AC tune-up, just to check to make sure the system's running efficiently. That's good. Or maybe your air conditioner is 10 years or older, and you're like, oh boy, I think it's time that we start checking into a replacement. Well, Strata's committed to 5-star customer service. So why not visit strataac.com? That's strataac.com. You can schedule your appointment, get a text confirmation. You can even track your text progress to your house, which is very, very cool. The website is stradaac.com. That's stradaac.com. You oughta call Strata. License number CACO 43953. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back from the break, we will check in with the Florida's Voice newsroom, see what they're working on right now across the state. Also, some more audio from the visit of the President of the United States at Alligator Alcatraz. It was awesome. A lot of great audio. And even some comments about the former administration and maybe the former DHS secretary and how Alejandro Mayorkas was orchestrating the largest illegal invasion in this country's history. As a matter of fact, the history of any nation, if you think about it. I wonder if the DOJ might get involved and look into what the former DHS secretary was doing. I'm banking on the fact that that's probably a thing. And the president talked about it today, and he didn't mince words. Does the president ever mince words? Nope. So we'll play that audio coming up in just a bit. And also, the one big beautiful bill passing the Senate. What's next? We'll talk about that coming up. My name is Drew Steele, and this is Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's rock-solid countertops and more. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock solid countertops and more.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 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 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303. And anytime you want to listen to the program 24/7, you can go to my website, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's. Also, you can check out the podcast there as well, so you won't miss a thing. All right, let's find out what's going on in the Florida's Voice newsroom. We call this Top of the News.
Top of the News, Florida's headlines.
And I believe it's AP, is that right? Let's just double check. It is. Anita Padilla is in the Florida's Voice newsroom. She's got the latest. What's up?
Hey, Drew, topping the news right now, a big day in Florida as President Donald Trump joins Governor Ron DeSantis, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, and Florida's Division of Emergency Management Executive Director Kevin Guthrie on a tour of the Everglades Detention Center, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. Following that tour, the president joined a roundtable discussion that was attended by Congressman Byron Donalds, Agriculture Commissioner Wilton Simpson, Attorney General James Uthmeier, and Florida Senator Joe Gruters. While there, the president said he's asking the Department of Justice to arrest former DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas for facilitating the invasion of the United States. Wow. And while all of that was underway, the U.S. Senate passed Trump's big, beautiful bill. It's a $3.3 trillion package that includes tax cuts, defense spending, and Medicaid reforms. Vice President J.D. Vance cast the tie-breaking vote after all Democrats opposed it. That bill now heads to the House, where divisions remain. GOP leaders say that they are determined to get it to the president's desk by July 4th, and the House is taking it up tomorrow at 9 a.m. Congressman John Rutherford is calling on the federal government to hand over management of red snapper and other reef fish in the South Atlantic to the states. He says federal limits are just too strict and they don't match what local anglers are seeing, including just 1 day allowed for red snapper fishing last summer. Rutherford led a bipartisan letter to U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. He was joined by Senator Rick Scott and several other Florida lawmakers, both Republican and Democrat. They point to Florida's success managing red snapper in the Gulf, where the season has grown from 3 days to over 120. State leaders say local control could mean better data, more access for anglers, and a boost for coastal communities. All right, that's it for now. I'll be back in another hour to tell you about a city in the Florida Keys where city commissioners just voted to void their 287G agreement with ICE, meaning they don't want to partner with the feds in rounding up criminal illegal aliens. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director here at Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
All right, AP, Anita Padilla in the Florida's Voice newsroom, and anytime you want to check out the stories that they are working on, you can go to flvoicenews.com. That's the website. It's right there on your screen, and it's also there on your computer screen or your phone screen. It's there, so you can see all the stories without a problem. I think without a problem, we are seeing Evan Power right now. The Florida GOP chairman is joining us on Florida's Voice. Always great to see him on screen. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. No problems here.
Yep, that's right. No problems, no alligators, no snakes, right? Well, I mean, some people might have some issues with alligators, maybe if they're in certain places. I think you know what I'm talking about, Evan.
I think I do. I think today's a great day. We have Alligator Alcatraz opening up. We're going to take the worst criminals and we're going to put them in a place where there's one road in and there's a plane flight out to whatever country they want to go to.
Yeah, and we first of all, we're having fun with it too. I mean, it's always great to have the merch. I saw some of the merch, very nice, good stuff, the hats and everything else. You did it, and it's great. It's really cool. But the other part of it is, man, to get this done, right? Getting it done as quickly as it got done. And once again, Florida leading not everybody has a place like the Everglades to have a situation like this, but they do have places in their states, right, where they could do the same kind of thing to help out ICE because it's so helpful when we are able to do that here. And it takes a little bit of the burden off of what they have to do as well. It's an example, once again, of Florida leading the way,
No, Florida always leads the way. You talk about the merch. If anyone wants to go to florida.gop and hit the shop button, they can buy whatever they want.
Nice.
But let me say this. Florida leads the way. We've created an environment where we're going to send the most dangerous criminals. There's one road in and a plane flight out to another country. Other states should follow our lead because at the end of the day, we should prioritize American citizens, not illegal immigrants. And you look at some of my colleagues, I guess, if you would call them my adversaries, if you will. David Jolly wants to be governor. He's siding with the illegal aliens. Nikki Fried siding with the illegal aliens. We're siding with Floridians and the American people to send criminal illegals back to where they came from.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this is the kind of leadership that we're looking for doing things like this in the state of Florida, as opposed to some names that you just described and people that are going to run, let's just say, for governor here in the state. And they're not taking the same kind of tact on this, Evan. They're just not. They're not going to do it. They've already talked about how they're not going to do it. And they're not siding with Floridians. They're just not.
No, let me say this about David Jolly. David Jolly wants to be friends with the liberal commentators on MSNBC, who've already fired him, by the way. He was a former Republican. He's an independent. He's a former talking head. And he claims he's a moderate. But a moderate would not side with illegal aliens over Florida citizens. He's not right for Florida. We're lucky that we have James Uthmeyer, Governor DeSantis, and our legislature leading the way here in Florida, because Florida leads the way. Donald Trump and his administration came down to voice their support today. If we had a lot more of Florida, this country would be in a much better place.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, just before we go, Evan, so let's just say I need a ball cap. I need a nice cap with a big old alligator on it. Let's just say, where could I go? Where do I get that? Where am I getting the alligator Alcatraz merch? Come on now.
Go to florida.gop and hit shop, and you'll find all of that. But for you, sir, I believe you're coming to our forum on August 2nd.
Yep.
And I'll have one waiting for you.
D, you heard him. D, heard you.
I'm writing that down.
He's writing it down. He's writing it down, Evan. That's right. Okay, good. So one will be waiting for me. All right, my friend. Listen, great to see you. All the best. God bless. And I'll see you there. I'll see you sooner than that.
Right.
But okay, we'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll see you. Evan Power joining us on Florida's Voice, the Florida GOP chair. And the merch. You got to love it. It's very cool. I mean, it is. It really is. And the leadership, once again, on this issue is very cool. Of course, there are going to be people that are going to say the most ridiculous things right now. But there are certain things that you can't deny. For example, as the president was talking about and the governor were both talking about this today, how does this work? How is it that we can do this? And the insistence that this formula, if you will, of course, not everybody has Everglades in their backyard, but they certainly have locations, warehouses, maybe the same thing. They might have an airstrip that's underutilized or not utilized at all at the moment. The governor was even talking about expediting certain things. And so I wanted to play this clip of the governor, who just wanted to remind everybody, and I think this is important about this issue here. Check this out.
Offering up our National Guard and other folks in Florida to be deputized to be immigration judges. We're working with the Department of Justice for the approvals. I'm sure Pam will approve. But then I'll have a National Guard judge advocate here. Someone has a notice to appear. Biden would tell them to come back in 3 years and appear. Now you'll be able to appear in like a day or two, so they're not going to be detained, hopefully, for all that long. We'll have people here in this facility that can make, it's a bureaucracy. The president's got to deal with the bureaucracy. Now, Now, that Supreme Court ruling was good because that's going to allow him to be able to exercise Article 2 the way founders intended, but you still have bureaucracy. So we want to cut through that so that we have an efficient operation between Florida and DHS to get the removal of these illegals done.
Yeah, so how about that? Yeah, go ahead. You could give it to me. It's okay. Yep, that's good. He's right. As the president was touring Alligator Alcatraz and the governor was like, look, we're going to have the Florida National Guardsmen, immigration judges, we'll deputize them, we'll get things going. I'm sure Pam Bondi, the attorney general, will approve of this, and let's go. You drive them in and you're flying them out. That's good stuff. But one other thing that came up, and we were talking about it just a little earlier. Did the president mention the former DHS Secretary Mayorkas? He did. I want you to hear what he said about this just a little while ago today. Check this out.
Why hasn't he been arrested yet? Obviously you guys are cleaning up the mess that was made deliberately for the past 4 years.
Right, talking about all the illegals allowed into this country. Alejandro Mayorkas insisting all the time that the border is secure. The border is secure. It wasn't secure. He knew it. We knew it. The media knew it. But still, nobody did a thing.
And so people want accountability. It's great to see that the border is secured, and it's great to see the state level cooperation. But I guess I would ask you, why hasn't he been held accountable, or anybody really?
Well, pardons were given out by to many people, and they shouldn't have been given out. Like the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs was given a pardon because they destroyed all of the information.
Wait, I'm not letting that slide by. Can we hear that again? What was it?
Pardons were given out by to many people, and they shouldn't have been given out. Like the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs.
The Unselect. Sorry, I didn't see that one coming. The Unselect Committee of Political Thugs. Wow.
Was given a pardon because they destroyed all of the information from 2 years of hearings, and they should be arrested, but they were given pardons. Was he given a pardon, Mayorkas? Was he not?
I don't believe so.
Well, I take a look at that one because what he did is it's beyond incompetence. Something had to be done. Now, with that being said, he took orders from other people, and he was really doing the orders, and you could say he was very loyal to them because it must have been very hard for him to stand up and sit up and talk about what he allowed to happen to this country and be serious about it. So he was given orders. If he wasn't given a pardon, I could see looking at that. In fact, why don't you take a look at it, Kristen?
Wow. If he wasn't given a pardon, I mean, he gave him a little bit of an out. Like, listen, he's just following orders. But that's funny. He was following the orders of what the American people didn't want from a president. Right? I mean, we didn't...
Blind dog face pony shoulder.
Why? We didn't want you doing this. The American people overall, overwhelmingly, didn't want porous open borders, yet you allowed it to happen, President Biden. And you had a DHS secretary who was being, loyal to the things you were telling him to do. And he was doing it knowing full well that the border wasn't secure. It's weird. It's almost as if what the left accuses Trump of doing, that everybody under Trump will be loyal. It doesn't matter if it's legal or illegal. They'll do it no matter what. You mean like that? Is that the same thing? I think that's the same thing. Hey, that's the same thing. That's the same thing that you're talking about. And they're so good at it. The left is so good at blaming Republicans for all the things that they do. And when you see it, you can't unsee it. It's true. It's what they do. All right. What else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? All right, I know there's a lot of audio. I said audio. There's a lot of audio. Hey, D, there's a lot of audio out there from today at Alligator Alcatraz. Sorry, I said it that way. I don't know why that happened in particular. But I know that the One Big Beautiful Bill passed out of the Senate. So what is next? As people are talking about the vice president coming in and making it a 51-50 vote with his vote, the deciding vote. You had Susan Collins of Maine, Tom Tillis, North Carolina, Rand Paul of Kentucky, mouth issues today. Breaking ranks is what I was going to say with Republicans. And so with these slim majorities on both sides, what happens next? you know, the Constitution says both chambers have to pass identical legislation before it reaches the president's desk. The work, as the kids like to say, the work ain't over. So there's more. And man, what happens? It's not going to be as is. So they're going to have to go to committees. They're going to have to hash all of this out. The president wants it by July 4th. Is this even a possibility? Oof. We'll talk a little bit more in detail on that coming up. My name is Drew Steele. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I couldn't believe when I saw Joe's trees come up, of course I had no idea. And then Darren said, asked me if I described the ring to him. He said, yep, we found it. It was amazing.
She kept notes of anything that was lost, and we always put them on the bulletin board for a couple years, and as the years went on, we'd gather them and put them in a stack, and just hoping that one day we'd find a needle in a haystack.
This is a great bunch of people up here. I mean, we love coming up here, getting a tree, and I'm just thankful for them that they, kept that note for 15 years.
Dude, this is a crazy story right here. So that's a guy in Virginia. He lost his wedding ring back in 15 years ago. He lost it at a Christmas tree farm. So he got a tree in 2010. He didn't realize the ring is gone. It's gone. He tells the owners and described it, and then every year the owners, as they're culling through all the trees, they're like, just kind of looking around. And this year was the year they looked, and they're like, hey, we found the ring. And then they called them. And so that was...
How did they know whose it was?
Because the guy gave them the number, and they knew over all these years that he lost the ring, and he was looking for it, and they described it. The guy described the ring, so...
That's awesome.
Right. So they were kind enough to continue to look every time they would, pull the trees up. The ground gets all disrupted, right? I mean, 15 years worth of tree growth. And you come across, I mean, what are the chances of that? I lose my keys every other day in my house. This guy found a ring after 15 years in the dirt. That's pretty impressive. By the way, I've got to do something about the key losing. I really do. I mean, I may not lose my keys every other day. Pretty close to it. Or maybe it's the fact that my son, because he's 16 now and driving, is borrowing the keys and leaving them in undisclosed places. Like a puppy. It's like you leave it on the floor and all of a sudden it's missing, and it's there's a hole in the corner, and it's all dug up, and he buries the key. I don't know. You don't have that problem. Does the puppy, does your puppy do that? Is it a... I'm not saying steal your keys and hide them, but does he dig holes and hide things? Is he...
No digging.
No. Oh, good. All right. So no dig. The puppy doesn't dig. So that's a plus. So every time you have some of the other things that he's doing right now that drive you crazy, always remember, he's not a digger. So that's a positive.
That's a definite positive.
You always have to take away the positives, especially when it comes to puppies, because sometimes it's like, what do we do now? You got to hang in there. You got to be like the cat on the tree branch. Hang in there, kitty, because, well, you really have to. You can't bring it back. Anyway, what else do we have? Wow, that was weird. Let's go someplace else. All right, coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to talk about the one big beautiful bill and what's next. The legislation could force more than 300,000 Virginians off their insurance. I was just noticing this because you already have the left-leaning media outlets and the left, like Elizabeth Warren, all lying about what it is and what it isn't, and what's passed and what hasn't passed, and the numbers that they have all made up or they come up with thanks to the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, which we're told is nonpartisan. Of course, you can't trust them as far... Well, you don't want to throw anybody from the Congressional Budget Office. That would be really rude. But you can't trust them as far as you can throw them, as the kids like to say. And so what did they say? What have other people said besides Elizabeth Warren? We'll play the clip because it's always funny. Because she's almost in tears over it. But there are others like Stephen Mirren, who is the Council of Economic Advisors chair, who wanted to make it clear this morning exactly how the CBO scores and what it means and doesn't mean. You're probably sitting there oftentimes, and I know you're not sitting among friends and you're like, wow, did you hear about the CBO score? I know you don't do that because you have a life. I don't have a life, so I'm the one that's always looking at this stuff. If it doesn't make sense to you, I'll have it make sense in just a minute. Well, at least Stephen Mirren will make sense of it for you. Coming up, trust me.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it. No way.
No way. No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show.
Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, a Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D on the other side of the glass. You got Nina in the breaking newsroom and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Anytime you want to check out the program 24/7, you can go to my website, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's right there. You can listen at your convenience because it's always playing. Plus, you can check out the podcast if you want to as well. The President of the United States, along with the governor and others there at Alligator Alcatraz, some of the props that the president was giving included the Attorney General and some others. We're going to get to some of what was said today. Obviously, a lot of good things and a lot of interesting comments, including some on the possible mayor of the city of New York, the communist, socialist, Marxist, Democrat, all the same thing. Prove us wrong. And so that was interesting when he talked about that. He also floated the idea of some other people he would like to see deported, especially when it comes to committing heinous crimes. I'm going to play some of that audio. He's very serious, the President of the United States. And look, so is the state of Florida when it comes to law and order. That's what we do here. One of the other things we do here is we love having a conversation about education because there's a lot of great things that are going on here, trying to lead, be the example for others to follow. You know, it was just the other day that the governor was talking about the first of its kind alternative university accreditor. I wonder what Emily Sturge thinks of this, campus reform reporter. She's joining us right now on Florida's Voice. I don't have to wonder. I can just ask her because here she is. It's always great to see you. How are you?
So happy to be back. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to get into this.
Yeah, I am too because, well, first of all, you know, a lot of people are like, they're not even sure what this means. It is exciting news, but they're not even sure what this means when it comes to higher education. Maybe we can talk about that right out of the gate.
I'll break it down. This means transparency and this means accountability. This means bringing back academic standards, rigorous academic standards, and taking away political ideology from accrediting bodies. What accrediting bodies do is they certify undergraduate programs, they certify law schools and medical schools, and for far too long, they were judging them based on standards of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And now Governor DeSantis, along with 6 other states, or 5 other states, 6 states in total, they're coming out with this new model, this new accrediting body to certify institutions based on common sense, real academic outcomes, instead of judging institutions and their programs based on diversity, equity, and inclusion standards.
Yeah, it is interesting because the first thing I thought of when I heard this, I don't know if you thought of the same thing, probably not, but I thought of this myself was, why are we always told that this is the way things have to be? Like, why is it that there were other accreditors that were always the standard? And I thought, well, why couldn't states band together? Who says they can't do it? Why is it that it has to be that way and only that way? When certainly, Florida, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee are the states doing this. Why not be the ones, especially if it has to do with education? Like, that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're focusing on. Sure sounds like common sense rules the day here, and I think that's what the American people expect.
Absolutely. And by banding together, these states are acting as a coalition to restore those common sense principles, those academic standards to our education system. And I'd like to see other states follow suit in depoliticizing education, talking about real academic outcomes, and taking out ideology out of the education system. I mean, back in 2023, Florida led as a leader in taking out taxpayer-funded diversity, equity, and inclusion from our education system. We saw a domino effect of other states across the country. Now at Campus Reform, we've reported that over 20 states have passed anti-DEI legislation. Of course, Florida led the charge in that. And now I hope that Florida is leading the charge in this new innovative accrediting initiative. And I hope other states follow through and continue to depoliticize the higher education system throughout this country.
I would imagine they would, right, Emily? Because, when you see something that is undeniably working, like the things that we do overall here in the state, when people look and they see that it is working and more people want to come to the state, let's just say for an education, they want to come to our great higher education colleges, they want to be part of what we're doing. It only stands to reason that other states are going to look and want students to come to their universities, for example, and to know that if they are accredited the way we're talking about, that's going to get more people to come to their states as well. I'm assuming that's what we're talking about here, right?
Absolutely. And you and I might be biased because we are Floridians, but it's true. Rankings show Florida has ranked #1 in higher education for 9 years in a row. And another really remarkable statistic is 77% of student residents here in Florida graduate from our universities without loans. That's a really remarkable statistic to see when we're talking about the student loan debt crisis, when we saw the previous administration try to go through with canceling these student loans and the mess that brought about. That's not as big of an issue in Florida because of the innovative education policies that we have down there in the state of Florida. And now seeing a new innovative approach to the way accrediting bodies work, Florida continues to lead the charge.
Can you say that number again? Because that just sounds so good. What's the number when it comes to student loans? What is it?
77% of Florida resident students graduate without student loans. Wow. And I give credit to the Florida Bright Futures Scholarship Program. I received that scholarship. 100% of my tuition was covered at the University of Florida because of that remarkable scholarship that judges students based on meritocracy. It judges students based on their GPA, on their test scores, how many volunteer hours they put in. And students like myself, high achieving students, benefit, and they're able to have portions or even 100% of their tuition covered. And as we've seen in so many other states, students take out student loans, $50,000, $100,000, and then have to carry on the student loans for so many years after. It's remarkable to see that students in Florida just aren't having to deal with that at the same rate.
Yeah, and then we wonder what they're learning too. Like in some places, it's like you took a loan out for what? What's the degree you have, and how are you going to use that degree? That's a whole other stuff. We could spend a whole hour on that subject, right? And what in some places they're learning. For sure. So once again, I guess before we go, I just want to emphasize this, obviously the important work that Campus Reform is doing and looking into all of this and how they can follow you, obviously, and Campus Reform. But the other part of this, before we go, Emily, is I feel like there is this shift in education. There is a shift to common sense, to accreditors like we're talking about, to to get away from the indoctrination. And I think that it's sort of all over the place. I mean, we're seeing it in a lot of different things, but I think in education, people finally said, enough is enough. And when you have an administration like we have and so many people who feel the same way, then you can't help but have momentum. You're not pushing against an administration that's pushing back against you. It's kind of like this flow that we're all going in the same direction.
It certainly feels that way, especially since, like I mentioned, we've seen 20 states pass anti-DEI legislation,
Right.
and then an additional 10 states are also attempting to pass that legislation. So it is a national trend, but I don't want us to get too comfortable. I want us to continue keeping these universities close and looking at what they're doing, looking at the way that they're changing the names of their diversity, equity, and inclusion offices, looking at the way that they're changing position titles, course titles, etc. That's my job as a reporter for the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform. I'm going to continue doing that to make sure that this DEI stuff doesn't just keep getting swept under the rug. This is about depoliticizing our education system and bringing back academic merit, objective scholarship, and critical thinking skills to our education system, because that's really what Florida students and America students need.
Yeah, excellent. All right, so if they want to find out more about the work that you're doing and Campus Reform is doing, where can they go?
We are at campusreform.org reporting news stories every single day, and I'm at Real Emily Sturge on all social media platforms.
Awesome. It's always great to see you. All right, we'll see you soon. All the best. God bless.
Thanks so much.
All right, there she goes. That's Emily Sturge joining us here on Florida's Voice, Campus Reform reporter. She's awesome. And yeah, it's so true. The momentum that we have when you have states banding together and doing this is like, why does it always have to be the way it's been? Why can't it be something different, especially if the way it's been is all about DEI? We don't want that. So what else is there? Well, that's when the governor came along and announced the first of its kind alternative to the university accreditor, and that's how you do it. Good stuff. All right, let's see what else is going on here at Florida's Voice. Hit me. All right, some of what the president said today, some of the less controversial that he was talking about at Alligator Alcatraz. Well, before we get to that, I know that Wilton Simpson was there, the agriculture commissioner, and had a few things to say as well.
Say how grateful we are that you're back here in your home state of Florida. You've been doing an amazing job, not only at our border, but around the world, keeping this country safe and Americans. We are grateful for your leadership. God had a plan for us, and it was Donald Trump. So thank you for that. As a member of the Immigration Board and as the Commissioner of Agriculture of this state, I've been happy to help lead with the governor and the rest of the cabinet on this issue. We're very proud, Secretary Noem's here today and others, to represent not only the United States in our efforts to make this commitment to keep our citizens safe, but we're going to continue in Florida to remove the barriers to have your vision come true of a safe United States. We're going to get these illegals, the illegal criminals out of this state, and we really appreciate you and your leadership in this effort.
Yeah, a lot of great work is being done. That's the Agriculture Commissioner, Wilton Simpson, who was there today to talk about this. And then there was one other moment that I just wanted to play. Let's see, where was that? This is the president who was being asked and talking about, this was, I know people are going to say this is controversial, but I don't know. Let's see what you think, as the president was floating idea of deporting Americans who commit heinous acts. Wait a second. That's not really what he said, is it?
I'd like to say, a little controversial, but I couldn't care less. We have a lot of bad criminals that came into this country, and they came in stupidly. It was an unforced error. It was an incompetent president that allowed it to happen. It was an auto pen maybe that allowed it to happen, and it did happen. But we also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time. People that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them. People that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together.
Whoa. The next job is, let's just get all the criminals out of this country. American citizens are not. Oh, I know people freak out over that, and don't freak out. I get the point is that the president truly does care about the country, cares about safety and security, cares about all of these things to the point where he would say something like this. Because, listen, in all seriousness, he may be very serious about that. But how many of you feel the same way sometimes? Because, and let me just put a caveat on this and then we'll move on. Because you feel like that there are people in this country who don't love the country as much as you do, who don't care about the safety and security of American citizens as much as you do, who seem to be working against anything and everything that we're trying to do, even in lefty cities like your lefty city, to try to make things better for you. And yet you still go against us, the president, and law and order in this country. It's true. So people get frustrated. They think about things like that, and it's like, yeah, why can't we? So, but it's out of frustration. And I could see that. I mean, that kind of talk out of frustration. Like literally doing something like that. Anyway, let's see what else do we have going on. Oh, let's get to this. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this quickly. I wonder how this would work in a town near you, in a city near you, in a place where you live right now. This kind of balancing act that environmental groups would have to do with this story. Tampa Bay Times had the story: a new Florida law could create a turf lawn boom, defying local stopgaps. A state measure could block cities from banning artificial lawns. Turf companies are happy, environmentalists are not. Let's delve into this a little bit, shall we? They go through a story about, okay, I just give me the story. I hate when they bring in like, Joe Johnson has a lawn farm. Okay. All right, so for years, people have battled cities on permits and artificial turf rules. Different cities have different rules based on environmental protection or aesthetics tied to building codes. Though business is on the rise and more artificial turf finds its way into the landscape of Tampa, some government leaders and environmentalists are raising concerns about the impacts. Artificial turf doesn't drain, they say, meaning that it contributes to flooding. And a new state law going into effect. And a new state law is going to make it easier for homeowners to choose artificial over real grass. House Bill 683, passed unanimously in the legislative session, signed into law by the governor. It's going to drive more business now that the city is not holding our hand, according to one person who sells the synthetic turf. The law prohibits local governments from banning synthetic turf on single-family residential properties smaller than an acre. So where are we going here? The Florida Department of Environmental Protection will now set statewide standards of what's allowed, considering factors like materials, permeability, and stormwater drainage. So they're not just saying a blanket statement like, no, we can't do this. They're going to examine this and have standards to make sure that there wouldn't be any kind of flooding, thus the permeability and stormwater drainage. See how that works? So starting in July, local governments will no longer be able to enforce rules against synthetic turf that meets those state standards. Tampa recorded 61 artificial turf-related code enforcement cases with increases in recent years. Well, I would assume that because now the Department of Environmental Protection is going to have statewide standards and make sure that it has to be a certain way, that maybe there won't be issues related to code enforcement when it comes to places in Tampa and other places across the state, because they're going to be looking into the important aspects of what the turf does and doesn't do. Take me back to the permeability and the stormwater drainage part of it. But I just wonder, as a thing, as we all live here in the great state of Florida, and we love our lawns, and we love how, especially now in the summer, oh boy, you are mowing the lawn more than ever now. And it's beautiful, and it's green, and it's lush, and it doesn't always feel the nicest on your bare feet. That's a whole other subject, but that's just the way it is in the state of Florida. It's better than to have sticker burrs. And if you are somebody who knows what a sticker burr is in the state of Florida, you know what I'm talking about. But that is quite the balancing act. Because number one, do you want to have turf as your lawn? You know, you go to some of the specialty stores, the big box stores, and you see the turf that's out there. And sometimes you look and you take a double take and you're like, wow, that looks real. That is amazing. How do they do that? And you think, what? And I don't have to mow this, and I don't have to water this, and I don't have to feed this. I don't have to put any pesticides down on this. See where I'm going here? All of a sudden, that's quite the balancing act in the state of Florida. Because on the one hand, the environmentalists are like, well, you can't have the turf because, you know, there's the materials that it's made out of and the stormwater drainage issues. And, well, the bill kind of is going to work on that aspect of it. But then there's the other side, which is, you know, if you're watering the lawns, as we do here in the state of Florida, we water a lot of grass around here, as you all know, especially not this time of year. I'm listening to the thunder in the background. I'm like, well, not right now. It's a little different these days. Summer, you know. But you do have the stormwater drainage, and you do have a lot of those fertilizers that drain out into certain areas that cause blooms of algae and the like. And it's, wow, if we had more places that might have turf, I'm not saying everybody, but if there were more people that were doing it, wouldn't that be a good thing technically for the environment? Well, at least for waterways, and I guess that would kind of sort of help. And I don't know. I wonder if just having this conversation, if you have some environmentalists that are just going, poof, 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 their heads are popping like, I don't know which one to take. Which button do I push? I don't know. But I just thought it was interesting because I know how good the quality of what you see with turf is. That's pretty amazing when you see the way that they have it there in the big box stores. And would you do it? Would you install synthetic turf, let's say, in your backyard or maybe even your front yard? You'd have that beautiful lawn or green all the time, but it's not really a lawn. But does it matter? Because, and look at what you're doing for the environment. You don't have to worry about putting all those fertilizers and pesticides into the water system, and you're not using water, so I don't know. Just, I wonder what, maybe you have a thought on this. 866-588-8303. 866-588-8303. Would you be one of those individuals here in the state of Florida who would choose turf over real grass on the front or back of your home if you could? All things being equal and proper. Yeah, just a thought. Let's see what you think. All right, and speaking of lawns, you know how the summer is. Summer creates big, beautiful, lush lawns. It also creates a lot of heat, and it also creates a lot of humidity, and the kind of things where, oh boy, if my air conditioning went down, that would be the end of that. Well, I mean, not just the air conditioner, but my good time, because I would be really frustrated. That's why you ought to call Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. They are here when you need them most. Maybe you've got an issue with your air conditioner. You're just not sure. Maybe you just need a Strata AC tune-up. You want to schedule one of those because you want to make sure that what you have is running efficiently, regardless of how old it is. But then maybe the unexpected is going to happen, or it did already, and you need to replace your older AC. Well, Strata Air Conditioning and Heating offers 0% interest for 36 months with approved credit on any new energy-efficient Goodman system. And you can also shop with confidence. They have that $500 best price guarantee. So why not find out more about Strata? They're committed to 5-star customer service. You can visit strataac.com and schedule an appointment. You can get the text confirmation right there so you know that you're set to go. And you could even track the text progress making their way to your home. That's stradaac.com, stradaac.com, strataac.com. You oughta call Strata. License number CACO 43953. All right, coming up, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll find out more of what they're working on there in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Anita Padilla, she's got the latest. We'll have more audio from the visit, the President of the United States at Alligator Alcatraz. And Stephen Miller was there. Some of what he had to say as the White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor. Also, a little more on what the governor had to say. Why does Florida have to be the only state? We have very red states. Why aren't other states doing this? Did he bring that up? Yeah, well, we'll talk about that. And yes, the mayor of New York City was brought up. Or I'm getting ahead of myself, everybody. The possible next mayor, Democrat, Socialist, Communist, Mondami, and the President of the United States had some very, very interesting things to say about him. We'll have that audio coming up as well. My name is Drew Steele. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 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 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wildlands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, do you all remember Leah Thomas? Well, if you do, there's some news that just broke a couple of minutes ago, and in a couple of minutes, I will give you the breaking news on what UPenn has agreed to do for allowing male Leah Thomas to compete on the women's swim team. Let's see if it's good stuff. We're going to find out what's going on with that. All right, let's see what's going on in the Florida's Voice newsroom. We call this Top of the News.
Top of the News, Florida's headlines.
Now. AP Anita Padilla is in the Florida's Voice newsroom. She's got the latest. What's up?
Hey, Drew, here's what's topping the news right now in Florida. President Donald Trump has wrapped up his tour of Alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah.
And giving him the personal show around was Governor Ron DeSantis.
Yep.
Joining them was DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Florida's Division of Emergency Management Executive Director Kevin Guthrie was with them as well. The Everglades Detention Center, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz, is going to house about 3,000 criminal, illegal aliens, all set for deportation. Afterwards, the president joined a roundtable discussion that included Congressman Byron Donalds, Agriculture Commissioner Wilton Simpson, Attorney General James Othmeyer, and Florida Senator Joe Gruters. And one interesting item that came out of that is President Trump says he's going to make sure that police arrest New York's Zohran Mamdani if he becomes mayor and then tries to block ICE from their work in New York City.
Oh, boy.
Tomorrow, 9 a.m., that's when members of the U.S. House will take up the big, beautiful bill. This is after the Senate passed it this afternoon. It's a $3.3 trillion package. It includes tax cuts, defense spending, and Medicaid reforms. Vice President J.D. Vance cast the tie-breaking vote after all of the Democrats opposed it. And there's a lot of discussion that'll take place in the House on this, so expect that. But GOP leaders say that they're determined to get it to the president's desk by the 4th of July. Key West commissioners have voted to end the city's partnership with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as the 287G agreement. In a 6-1 vote Monday night, commissioners overturned the policy after a packed city hall took place. This was filled with public comment, as you can imagine. The agreement allowed local police to help enforce federal immigration laws, including identifying and detaining illegal aliens with open criminal cases. The governor and the Florida Attorney General James Othmeyer both say local agencies are required to participate under Florida state law. After the vote, Othmeyer warned Key West on his X account that they would be hearing from his office very soon. All right, that's it for now. Be sure you're following us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. And then head over to our webpage because you're going to find a lot more stories just like this. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director for Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
All right, AP, we appreciate you there in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Anytime you want to check out the stories, like she said, flvoicenews.com, Florida's Voice. Anytime you want to check out the program, if you missed it for some reason, you want to listen 24/7, or just check out the podcast, you can go to my personal website, drewsteele.com, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's, and you can check it all out right there. All right, so we talked about this before we hit top of the news. UPenn has agreed to apologize for allowing male Leah Thomas to compete on the women's swimming team and change its Title IX policies to ensure that only biological women compete against one another, according to the U.S. Department of Education. In a deal between UPenn and the Trump administration, the university will vacate all of Thomas's records, whoa, and restore them to the women who rightfully earned them, whoa. DOE official said that UPenn will become a model for proper Title IX policies after serving as the epitome of unfairness for women as athletes. Wow, that is a huge story. And I'd say
we will win, and we will win, and we will win.
Sounds like a win for women and women's sports. So that is the start. We'll see what others will do to follow. That's going to be important. Also, one other thing, let's check out this little soundbite from Fox News. This just popped up a little while ago. Let's listen together.
President Trump pushing to make America's fighting force the best in the world. And now the Air Force, Space Force, Army, and Navy say that they are meeting recruitment goals ahead of their target.
Huh. I wonder why that's happening.
We will win, and we will win, and we will win.
Yeah, well, there's the winning part of it. Yeah, I wonder why.
Trump
I know. Okay, we know. How about that? I wonder why. Hey, D, do you have any ideas? What do you suppose is happening that's different? I don't know. It seems so strange that the Air Force...
everything?
Yeah, pretty much. So Air Force, Space Force, Army, Navy all hit recruitment levels ahead of target since Trump took office and Hegseth was confirmed. Interesting how things work like that, isn't it? All right, let's move on to this. One big, beautiful bill. Look, it's not over. I mean, it's over as far as the Senate and what they would like to see happen as the 51-50 vote. The vice president casting the deciding vote yesterday. You had three people that peeled off, Republicans, Collins, Tillis, and Rand Paul. And look, by the Constitution, you have to have both chambers pass identical legislation. So they're going to have to figure this out. There's going to have to be conference committees now. There's going to have to be a moment where everybody, like now, speaking of now and into July 4th, are going to have to hash out their differences. Hopefully they can do it and get some amendments sent back and everybody agrees. And what's it going to be? Because the House side is like $2.8 trillion in deficit over 10 years. The Senate's got $4 trillion. Is that really what's happening? What about the Medicaid side of it? Are we going to get the Medicaid cuts that are going to be happening? Those cuts being cuts because you will have people who are able-bodied no longer be able to be on Medicaid. You got work requirements, and illegals who have been on it will have to come off of it. Of course, that freaks out the left. As you can imagine, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the next president of the United States. Sorry, did I say that? She said J.D. Vance was a deciding vote to cut Medicaid across the country. An absolute and utter betrayal of working families. No. That's not what it does. That's not what this is all about, is it? I just told you what it does. It's not every person is cut out of it. That would be ridiculous. That's not what's happening. Gavin Newsom, who has got enough problems that he's caused in California. He wants to be president of the United States one day and is probably going to be running as well. His 2028 candidacy starts out with this little tidbit. Bookmark this, he says on X. J.D. Vance is the ultimate reason why 17 million Americans will lose their health care. Really? 17 million Americans are going to lose their health care because of J.D. Vance? Hey, D, does that sound right to you? That because of this, 17 million people are just going to automatically, it's just like, bye-bye, no more health care. Do you think should I bookmark that? Let's bookmark that, because I don't think that's going to be happening. Can we bookmark that?
I can almost bet you any number you want that will not be happening.
Yeah, no. And pick 17 million. Why not 50 million? Why not 400 million? Pick any number you want. How about 1 billion people across the globe will lose health care? Well, just go for it. It's kind of like when they do the minimum wage. Why $15? Why not 20? Why not 50? How come we can't make $100 an hour? I mean, if you just wave a magic wand and all of a sudden everybody's making $50 an hour or even $20 an hour, why can't it be $100 an hour? Come on, you got to think more than that. So how are we going to do this? If the CBO score says, oh, this is going to be really, really ugly. I know because there are already media outlets that are talking about the disaster that this is going to be. The one big beautiful bill, 51-50 margin, passed on Tuesday. This is how it's being described at, I think it's Is Virginia public media, like a PBS, NPR, yeah, that kind of thing. So you can imagine the slant here. This bill will cut roughly $1 trillion from Medicaid, according to it's not cutting it. Again, people that shouldn't have it are not going to have it. That's how it's being cut. It's like a waste, fraud, and abuse type of cut. Like, you're not losing it. And then it goes into all the people who are against this and the CBO score. According to a preliminary review done by the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. By the way, I think like only 2 people that work at the Congressional Budget Office voted for Republicans. No, I'm not kidding. I mean, seriously, it's like that small a number. So there's no nonpartisan in the nonpartisanship, as it were. How is this going to work, though? Stephen Mirren is the Council of Economic Advisors chair. He was on Fox Today. He's like, look, when it comes to the CBO, they're wrong. When it comes to how we're going to do this, let me explain. Now, you may agree with this. You may disagree with this. You may say this isn't how it's going to work, but this is trusting the process.
It will come down through economic growth and other policies that we're implementing. Let me tell you all the things that are not included in the CBO score that are getting ignored by the doubters in this process.
Okay, so what's getting ignored in the process here?
There's better revenue from economic growth that I just mentioned a moment ago. That's about $4 trillion. There's going to be about $3 trillion of tariff revenue coming in, too, that because they don't come in through the legislative process, they don't get counted in the score. But those $3 trillion are as good as any other dollars for bringing down the deficit. There's about $1.5 trillion of further administrative cuts. These are things like reduced headcount at federal agencies, the government becoming more efficient, doing more with less.
Oh, that's DOGE and the DOGE cuts, right, to all of that. So we're going to be saving there.
And there's also another about $1.5 trillion of reduced interest expenses because we're borrowing less for all the other things.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, if we're borrowing less, and you didn't think about that one, did you? Right? So if you're borrowing less, if you've maxed out your credit card, and your credit card has a 29% interest rate. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit thinking about that. Whoa. Yeah, if you have a 29% interest rate and you've maxed out your card, your interest rate is through the roof. But if the amount of money that you have on the card is now halved, let's just say, your interest rate is going to be a lot less. Get it? That's how that works.
You add all this up, you get to about $8.5 to $11 trillion of growth across all of these different means of, $8.5 to $11 trillion of reduced deficit from all of these means of bringing the deficit down. And it's all in all, combined, extremely powerful. And so it's very, very powerful deficit reduction. It'll bring the debt to GDP ratio down by over 20 percentage points relative to what the CBO expects.
Okay. You see, now, I know there are going to be people that question that. There are going to be people that say no. There are going to be people that say the most ridiculous things like what?
Leaving the Senate now. At the end of the vote, when the Republicans won, they cheered. They cheered over taking away health care from around 17 million people.
There's Elizabeth Warren repeating the 17 million. They come up with a number and then everybody parrots the number. You see how that works? So, and she almost looks like she's in tears, or she's got really bad allergies or something. I don't know. One or the other. Or maybe that's just the way she is all the time. I don't know. I've never really met her. I've never met her at all. Not even really, like at all. But anyway, so you have all of that going on. But do you trust the process? Wouldn't it be nice if, how do I put this the right way? Wouldn't it be nice if 1 decade in our life, I know we don't have enough time, but just 1 decade in our life, an administration would come in and say, if you just let the process play out, if you just follow what it is we're telling you to do, if you just believe in the process, I promise you that after 10 years, we will be in this place. And then everybody votes for that. And then nobody pushes back against it. They just let it happen. And then at the end of that time period, if everything is an absolute disaster before we get to Armageddon, then we're like, yeah, we're never voting for you again because you lied and it didn't work out the way. And we can't trust you. Or it might be the opposite, that it might actually go down exactly as described. And then we want those people around even longer because they're doing what's right for you and me, for the country. Now, we live in the world that we live in. We don't live in the world we wish we lived in. And unfortunately, the world we live in has...
True international average of pressure.
has people like that.
So what are you saying?
You know exactly what I'm saying. That you just have to trust the process. The left is going to do everything they can to demagogue against this. They're going to hyperventilate. They're going to say all the worst things that you can possibly imagine. There are going to be some people that don't want to believe in the process, and time is going to tell. Either Stephen Mirren is right, or Tom Tillis and Rand Paul are right, and we are going to be in a disastrous place. I hate to break this to everybody, but when it comes to debts and deficits, we are in a pretty bad place. $1 trillion we pay each and every year, just interest on the debt. This Stephen Mirren guy better be right about this, because we need to turn that around quick.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Come get a spray tan with us. Giada's going to get her first ever spray tan today from her aunt. So, mind your business. It's just sugar and water, sugar and water.
No. This is another reason. This is the 847,672nd reason why you can't have TikTok. Why people can't have TikTok. We can't have nice things. D, that is a TikTok influencer from New Jersey, who stirred up some controversy because she took her 7-year-old daughter to get a spray tan. 7 years old and a spray tan. What do you say about that?
Nope.
No. We're not doing spray tans for 7-year-olds. It's just sugar and water. It doesn't matter. We can't do this, Steve. We cannot. This is why some people just can't have nice things. This is why no one can have nice things, because you give something to people that's really nice. Isn't it going to be nice when you'll be able to communicate with your loved ones and everything? Oh, that'll be great. And it's right on your phone. Oh, that sounds awesome. I mean, I could talk to my mom and dad from far away. Yeah, it'll be great, right? What's it called? It's called Facebook. Oh, that's going to be wonderful. I can talk to friends that I haven't seen in a long time. And now we have women taking their 7-year-old daughters to get spray tans. See how that works? Can't do it. No. I saw this video, D. This is for you. Tell me when you're watching the screen. Unfortunately, this is not going to be for our radio listeners. I will describe what's happening, but I got this for you. Because when I saw this story, for those that are watching, you're going to have the opportunity to see how things get done with certain people in certain places when they get upset about TikTok. You ready, D? Tell me when you're ready.
Let's go.
Okay, Watch the video. This is what I'm thinking today. You ready? Here you go. Wait, hold on a second. This is what I'm thinking. Look, you see what's happening? That's what I'm thinking today. It's like, that's what needs to be done.
A lot of people need that to be done.
So it's a video, I guess. I don't know. It's probably on TikTok of a kid who's like glued to their phone, and they keep watching and they're eating dinner. And so I guess the grandmother comes over, the mom comes over and gets duct tape and just duct tapes the phone right to their head. That's it. Okay. Is that what you want? You want a phone duct taped to your head all the time? I hope she's okay. I think she's fine. So I'm just saying, that's the kind of frustrating thing that you see sometimes, which is like, we need this glued to you. We don't want this glued to you. And I also don't want you to get a spray tan right now. You live in Florida. Go outside. I don't know, is that mean? I guess you can't say that, D. It's Florida, go outside, you can say it. Yeah, I guess you could say it. And then there's plenty of places that you could just walk out the door and it's like, and it's so hot right now that you can walk out and it's like, and I'm going to the mailbox and I'm done. And look at that. You got a beautiful tan and you're set to go for your night out. Speaking of nights out, this has nothing to do with a night out. I do have some, hey, maybe AI isn't going to eat our face after all news for you, D, next hour. You're really going to like this. Video evidence proving that AI is not going to eat our face. Does that excite you? Because I've been telling you how we're all going to die.
It sounds promising.
Yeah, it does. And you will be like, I feel a whole lot better. I promise. So that's coming up. Also, we're going to talk a little bit more about this comment that was made by the President of the United States in just a little bit.
Your beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zorhan Mandami, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zorhan Mandami.
I want you to stand by, because when we come back from break, I'm going to play the rest of that clip and what the president said as he was taking questions. Of course he takes questions at Alligator Alcatraz after the Senate passed the big, beautiful bill. We're going to get to that too. But wait till you hear the president's answer on that little ditty. So we'll have that coming up in just a second. Anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Anytime you want to check out the podcast or just hear the show 24/7, you can go to my website, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutVaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show. Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, look at you. You're looking fantastic. Thanks for joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. There's Big D on the other side of the glass, and you got Nina in the breaking newsroom. If you want to watch FL Voice News, YouTube, Rumble X, and Facebook. If you want to listen to our great affiliates across the state of Florida, we have many, and thank you for allowing us to be part of your programming day. And if you want to check out this show maybe later on in its entirety, for some reason you're going to miss it, live 3 to 6 p.m., you can go to my website, drewsteele.com. The website, Steele has 3 E's there. You can listen at your convenience and check out the podcast, too. Either way, you can consume the way you would like. The President of the United States at Alligator Alcatraz today, and the governor alongside him, as well as many others. The president talking about the governor. This was a pretty nice moment.
So well with the federal government. It's been just a beautiful, beautiful partnership. So, Ron, I'd like to thank you personally. You are my friend, and you'll always be my friend. And we may have some skirmishes even in the future. I doubt it, but we'll always come back because we just we have blood that seems to match pretty well. We have a relationship that's been a very strong one for a long period of time, and I appreciate it. Very much appreciate it.
Wow. How about that? So a little bit of love for the governor there, Governor DeSantis, even after everything that has gone on politically, and so that is nice. The talk was also about, among other things, why can't we duplicate this in other places around the country? The alligators and the snakes and...
Mr. President, in 2018, you suggested putting alligators in the Rio Grande to prevent crossings in Texas. Is this a dream come true for you, sir?
Well, I was thinking about that, I must say. It was meant more as a joke, but the more I thought of it, the more I liked it, if you want to know the truth. And they were serious. They were actually crocodiles. They were crocodiles from Africa. They are a step beyond. But no, that was really meant as a joke, but a lot of people liked it, and a lot of people think we should do it, frankly.
Yeah, so here comes the governor, the great governor of the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, like, I can do alligators. Hey, we can do gators. We can do those. That would be pretty good, and we did. And some more of what the conversation was like. The governor's like, yeah, we need to get this all over the country. We've got red states, very red states.
Say is, don't let Florida be the only state.
Right.
We've got very red states that should be doing this just as much as Florida's doing.
I mean, not with the alligators. I mean, you could do it with the gators, but the idea is look at how long And we'll let him continue.
That will increase their numbers. And then what happens is you'll have a lot of people that will deport on their own because they don't want to end up in an Alligator, Alcatraz, or some of those other places. So I think this is a model, but we need other states to step up.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. And to be a model, we are always here in the state of Florida. And exactly, to have people self-deporting, that would be nice.
I was going to ask you, would this be enticing for other states to come up with their own model?
They are doing it. We have Louisiana doing it big. Alabama's doing it. We have a lot of states. They seem to be red states and not too many blue states for whatever reason. You know, but the red states, Republican-run states, are doing it. The blue states don't do very well at security and policing, unfortunately. What would you say, Chris?
You know, I would say that exactly right. The governor here has been fantastic in forming this partnership with the Department of Homeland Security. We were looking at different contracts with different vendors and thought, why not go straight to our governors and ask them to help us solve this problem? Florida was unique in what they presented to us, and I would ask every other governor to do the exact same thing. This is unique because we can hold individuals here.
Yep, we can hold individuals here. She's right. By the way, Dee, can I just ask this question? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just asking the question. So there they are on the screen, right? You see Governor Ron DeSantis, and you see the president, and you see the DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, right? You see them all there? Okay, just want to make sure you see them. Do you remember the last time you saw Kristi Noem, DHS Secretary, not wearing a hat? It seems like...
You know what? I was just thinking to myself before you said this, does DeSantis ever wear a hat?
DeSantis? Okay, there you go. So the governor never wears a hat. I can't remember the last time. I mean, he does, but I can't remember the last time I've seen him wear a hat. And I can't remember the last time I saw Kristi Noem without a ball cap. She's got to
that's her new thing.
Right, she's got a Make America Great Again white ball cap or like a cowboy hat, right? She's always wearing a hat. I never see her without one. I just an observation that may or may not be necessary. Well, I don't think it's wrong. I just think it's maybe not necessary. But there's that. Stephen Miller is always necessary. He is absolutely amazing. The White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor. And I just wanted to play this before we move on from the Alligator Alcatraz visit today, because there's something that he said. It's a little long, but I wanted to play this because he's so spot on. Here, check this out.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say on a personal note, getting to watch what you've done over the last 5 months to deliver on a 50-year hope and dream of the American people to secure the border. When President Trump came into office on January 20th, the United States had endured the largest wave of illegal immigration in human history. Not just American history, human history. And within just a few days, President Trump, through his strength, leadership, diplomacy, and vision, achieved the most secure border anyone in the world has ever seen. When we recently went overseas to the NATO summit, I had senior staff in foreign governments come up to me and ask me how he achieved the Trump miracle on his border and could that be replicated in their countries.
Wow.
For individuals who don't work in this space, to have 0 successful illegal entries in an entire month should be an impossible achievement. There's a 2,000-mile border with one of the poorest countries in the world, and you have open travel from 150 countries into Central America and South America. There are 2 billion people in the world.
Yeah, and he goes on for a while, but I'm just putting this out there. This shouldn't be possible. Like, he shouldn't be able to do this. It's impossible. To have 0 successful illegal entries in an entire month should be an impossible achievement, and somehow he gets it done. It's just...
We will win, and we will win, and we will win.
I'm just saying. Pretty amazing. That's all. All right, some other things that were mentioned. Here, let's transition out of this. So the president was asked about Zoran Mandami, and I played this before. He is the Democrat primary winner in New York for the mayorship of the city. And I played this, just the beginning of this, but I want you to hear the rest of this. Because listen what the president said when asked about Mamdani and how, listen, we're not following any orders when it comes to ICE and deportations. And
your beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zoran Mandami, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zoran Mandami?
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look, we don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government. And by the way, they get about 3 times what you get, Ron. If you look at the per capita, Florida gets 1/3 of what New York gets in terms of the numbers. Why don't you give us those numbers?
Yeah, well,
because that's what we should send him.
Yeah, well, like sometimes people say Florida gets more because they count Social Security recipients, but that's not money to the state. Those are seniors that live here. If they moved to North Carolina, you could count it there. So it has no interaction with the state government. They get more in the city and state governments than we get.
Right, substantially. We're going to be watching that very carefully, and a lot of people are saying he's here illegally. He's, we're going to look at everything, but
we're going to look at everything. Wow. He's not messing around. Now, just so you understand what someone being fully communist looks and sounds like, I got to tell you, I saw this and I'm like, this can't be real. Like, he can't really be serious about this, is he?
Go further toward the Vienna model. We'll have to go beyond the market. We can establish community land trusts to gradually buy up housing on the private market and convert it to community ownership. We can give tenants a right of first refusal to buy out their landlords when buildings go up for sale. And we can fully commit to a new era of social housing, ending subsidies for luxury housing development and using our wealth to build beautiful, high-quality social housing projects that offer good homes and strong communities to everyone. We won't decommodify housing overnight, but we know what we have to do, and we have history to guide us. So first,
decolonize house? Did he say decolonize house? No, that's AI, right? That's not real. That can't be real. The problem is you can't tell. No, it is real. And the thing is, that's a communist right there. You can't get any more communist than buying up the housing on the private market and converting it into communes. Oh, and by the way, there's one other thing about the socialist Marxist Democrat, Zoran Mandami. He wants to pay for government grocery stores with money that doesn't exist. No, I'm not kidding. The New York Post had the story today. Democrat, socialist, and mayoral frontrunner Mamdani apparently wants to pay for his city-run grocery stores by using taxpayer funds that don't actually exist. The Queens State Assemblyman claimed that on the campaign trail that he would pull $140 million from city subsidies directed at corporate grocery stores. But that pot of money is actually what the private business part of the program called City Fresh have invested over a 12-year span. The only public funds that have been doled out as part of the program was $30 million in tax breaks that have been provided to the participating grocers over that same span, according to city websites. So it doesn't exist. That money's not there. The campaign didn't immediately return a request for comment today. You think? It's like, oops. Like, what do you do now? What do you do? Well, I mean, you continue being a communist and just getting the money from somebody else. It's just take it, you're going to be Robin Hood in a really bad way. Stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Kind of thing. See what I did there, D? Little Robin Hood? Kind of? No? Anyone? Okay. So, so that's what the president said a little earlier today on that. What else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Hit me. All right, checking out some more stories. Where was that other one that I wanted to hit? Oh, here it is. Okay. This sounds really nice. Health freedom advocates. I like people who advocate for health freedom. They're going to celebrate the end of water fluoridation in the state of Florida at an Orlando event. How about that? In Orlando, they're even celebrating. Stand for Health Freedom is hosting an Independence from Water Fluoridation event to celebrate the statewide ban that effectively halted the practice across the state of Florida. I think it's happening, it's tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m. So it marks the culmination of a movement that saw 22 cities and 4 counties vote locally against fluoridation since November of 2024. And now it is statewide, baby. The event is going to be at the Florida Water Bar in Orlando. is that? Hey D, can you do me a favor? Can you get on Al Gore's famous Google verse? Can you look up Florida Water Bar in Orlando? Is that just a clever name for a bar, or is that, because I'm not familiar with the water bar, or is that really like, hey, do you like water with orange in it, or maybe a little slice of lime? Or we got this water from the municipality of Longwood. This one came from the springs of Zephyr Hills. This one came from the mountains of, I don't know. Can you look that up for me? Did you find anything out yet?
Yeah, I've got it here.
All right, what is it?
It's actually Florida Water Bar / refill station. And the services it provides is bottled water supplying and alkaline water.
Okay, so...
And I don't think it's like a bar. It's like a water supplier. Well,
maybe I just came up with a great idea for the state of Florida. For people who are health conscious. Conscious, not conscience. It's like, I'm not really sure if I like water. Okay, I'm not talking about that. So stand for health freedom. Local leaders will be there, including Longwood Commissioner Matt Morgan and Bartow Mayor Trish Pfeiffer. All right. So they've been a leading voice in the effort. They wanted to get fluoride out of the water, and so we're going to celebrate. What if we did that, D? Would anybody show up for something like that? What if here in the state we created literally, I hate to use the word literally, but I have to in this case, literally a water bar on tap. Like you can get water from Zephyr Hills, or you can get water from certain municipalities, or you can get New York City water shipped in, or you could get like glacial water from Iceland or something like that. But it's a bar and everybody can be social, and then you just put stuff in the water like fresh slices of fruits or something like that. Wait, is that a $1 million idea, or is that just a dollar idea?
I'm not sure I'd get behind that right away.
Thanks a lot. See, I don't know if that's personal or if that's just the idea. I don't know. I can't tell with you. You might be saying that because, I think it's a terrible idea. Speaking of terrible ideas, remember when Disney had the terrible idea of offering a ton of Pride merchandise in their shops and everything, and it was just it was an overload because it was
LGBTQ2+.
Yeah, and they had to do it because if they didn't do it, then there would be consequences from somebody, I guess, who was going to get really, really angry. And if the people were like, this is a little too much for us, there's a little too much of this happening in the Pride merchandise, and it's a little over the top, and the majority of people think that way, but there's a minority of voices that are like, oh, we're going to shut you down. And somehow those voices won. I guess anyway, story from Red State. Disney parks featured muted offerings for Pride merchandise in shops after almost nothing moved last year. According to that park place, Disney featured very little merchandise at their in-park stores for what LGBT activists called Pride Month, which falls in line with many corporations who muted their participation in June. Epcot's Creation Shop and Magic Kingdom's Main Street Emporium, two of the largest retail spaces in the parks, featured only minimal Pride merchandise. Each location offered just 2 small displays with a handful of items. A few t-shirts, a Stitch plush. What's a Stitch plush? Do you know what would that? Maybe I should ask Nina. Nina, what's a Stitch plush? Is it just like a stuffed animal, but like a stuffed Stitch? Is that what a plush? That's what a plush would be, right? Is that what they call stuffed animals now? They call them plushes? Yeah. All right. I don't know. A Christmas tree ornament and a couple of accessories. That's a stark contrast from previous years when Pride-themed apparel and accessories blanketed nearly every major gift shop from Tomorrowland to World Showcase. The subdued presentation appears to reflect a broader trend, not just Disney, but across corporate America. Disney went all out in 24 with their in-park shops being highly decorated in LGBT merchandise and promotions. Every corner in the shop had some reference to Pride, yet this all an investment into the activist-fueled month didn't move much merchandise, resulting in boxes and boxes being shipped off to other outlets at discounts. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, there was a movie. What's the movie that's? I don't want to spend too much time in this, but I guess there was a movie that just came out to a Disney. Is it Elios? Is that the Does that sound right? Nina, you can tell me if that's right or not. Elios was a movie that came out recently. It was one of those Pixar films. And I think that's what it was called. Oh, Elio. Thank you. All right. And Elio, I guess, was originally going to be a queer-coded, unquote, character before leadership stepped in. And, they started thinking this way, and then all of a sudden there was, like, shifting away from that less and less and less. And so it became a movie that only ultimately opened with 21 million domestic and 14 million foreign box office. Cost $150 million to make. A huge blow to Pixar and Disney. Because usually it's, when they put out a Pixar film, it's like fire. But not this one. One of the biggest losses that they've ever had. So, all right. That's all for the news on that. And let's shift it back to this. Here we go. I wanted to mention quickly about this here. Scott Jennings a little while ago on CNN, and this is beautiful. So Paul Begala is a CNN political commentator. He's one of these crazy lefties, been around forever. I guess since the Clintons were around, and they're talking about the One Big Beautiful Bill, and the president wants the House to pass this. Let's get this thing going. We want everything done, finished, completed by July 4th.
Republican Congress, you lie awake at night, unable to sleep, worried that somewhere, someone who's a working person is getting health care. This will be the biggest cut in Medicaid in American history.
No, it won't be.
Medicaid's very popular. By the way, Republicans carried people on Medicaid.
Now, I'm looking at Scott Jennings' face. He's like, let me go, let me go.
Won their votes. And this is what gets me. Smart politicians reward people who vote for them. Great politicians reach out to people who didn't vote for them and bring them in. But stupid politicians punish their voters. This bill is a political suicide note for the Republican Party. Last time they tried this, the Democrats won 41 House seats after Trump's first midterm. They'll exceed that this time. 489 days.
All right, go Scott Jennings on CNN. We love Scott Jennings. Let's set the record straight, Scott.
Do better than 41 seats. This is absolute death knell for the House Republicans. Maybe Senate, too.
I should have started my remarks by thanking you, because it was President Bill Clinton in the 90s that thought of work requirements.
Okay. I love him. Okay. So there you go. Sorry. Now, yeah, because,
for Medicaid,
but two-thirds of people on Medicaid already work.
Which is all we're doing here.
They already do it. They already do it. We did it.
If you want to get up and go to work, you're going to get your Medicaid. And if you're an illegal alien, you're not going to get your Medicaid. Everybody else is going to be fine.
14 million
generational
people.
Welfare reform built on your all's ideas. So I thank you. I sincerely
thank you. People in Kentucky, which I love. I'm a Kentucky colonel. You're a Kentucky citizen, but I'm a colonel in Kentucky.
I'm also a colonel.
I love your Commonwealth. Love it. 1/3 of the people in that Commonwealth are on Medicaid. 54% in Eastern Kentucky. 54%, and they stand in line in the rain to vote for Donald Trump, and he's stabbing them in the back.
I disagree.
It's a fact.
The people,
Kaiser Family Foundation.
The people who work, the people who are trying, the people who need it, the people who are taking care of kids and other family members, those people are protected. We're protecting the safety net from those who are gaming the system or shouldn't even be in the country legally at all.
Yep. Pretty straightforward. You have one on the left who goes back to the Clinton era, demagoguing, hyperbolic, pretty much lies. And Scott Jennings setting the record straight, like, no. It's just taking people off the rolls that shouldn't have been on the rolls to begin with. You took them off back in the Clinton days. Somehow they got back on the rolls, and illegals got on there as well. We're just taking them back off again. People that shouldn't be. And he explained it so well. All right. Looking at the time, we got to get ready to take a break in just a second. But first, the summer doesn't take a break. The heat doesn't take a break. Your air conditioner cannot take a break, right? When your AC is down, everything stops. Get a hold of Strata. StrataAC.com. StrataAC.com. 5-star customer service. Go to StrataAC.com. Schedule an appointment. Check out your air conditioning unit. You ought to call Strata. License number CACO 43953.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true, people are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch at FL Voice News, YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303. Anytime you want to check out the program after hours, 24/7, or even listen to the podcast, you can go to drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's, and it's all right there. 5:35 each and every day, Monday through Friday. This is what we do. It's the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's my top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Drew's top 5. Number 5.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being evenly divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
Hey, that's me, the vice president. Well, that's not me personally, but that's J.D. Vance. He is the vice president of these United States. And so H.R. 1, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act in the Senate, was at 50-50, and the deciding vote that he laid down right there earlier today, Vice President J.D. Vance breaks the tie to pass the big, beautiful bill. And off we go to committee, and the discussion, I was going to say the arguments back and forth, and let's see if we can get this thing done before July 4th. That would be really nice.
Number 4.
How is it going?
You can delegate that to us because we move faster than the Army Corps.
Good.
So we will finish that reservoir.
Good.
If you delegate it to us, I'll get it done and much quicker.
Oh, I would do that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, let me ask myself permission. Permission granted. Go ahead, get the thing, get it complete. You want to do that?
All right, we're gonna go talk to the Army Corps then after this.
Wow. What?
Can move faster, actually.
That was pretty awesome. So there's the president of the United States, Donald Trump, along with the governor of the great state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, the round table right there at Alligator Alcatraz. And the governor decided to ask a quick question leaning over. The president was like, hey, how's things going with the Everglades Agriculture Area Reservoir, the EAA? And everybody is a little concerned. It's taking a lot of time. You know, we need Army Corps kind of dragging their feet. We could get this thing. Look at how long it took us to get Alligator Alcatraz up. It was like, boom, it's done. And if you just let us do our thing, give us the money, let's go. We can do this, and we can get it done quicker. And so the governor said that to the president. The president's like, yeah, you're right. I guess we could probably do that. He is right. And so, wow, is something going to move on that? That would be pretty cool.
Number 3.
We also know this is just the beginning. If Doge attacks USAID today, then you can be sure they'll move on to another target tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the Postal Service or the IRS or even the Social Security Administration. They could be next. Or maybe our national security agencies.
Are you trying to make me love Doge more? I'm sorry, that's Senator Chuck Schumer, who was there on the floor of the Senate. The Trump administration has decided to close the USAID headquarters to staff. What a beautiful, beautiful thing that is. Marco Rubio was announcing that today. That is a huge, huge win. Shutting it down. Of course, there are people that don't like it, like Democrats who have used USAID as a slush fund for Democrats and policies that are detrimental to you, me, this country, conservatives, Republicans, Christians. I don't know. Roll it all in there because just like Chuck Schumer's like doing the same thing. You're getting rid of USAID. You know what that means? That means who knows what's on the chopping block. It could be just about anything. Okay, first of all, stop with the exaggerations. And the second thing is, it could be just about anything that needs to be on the chopping block. And USAID, we're not doing this as a slush fund for Democrats and Democrat policies anymore. We're on to your game. We got you.
Number 2.
How much of a threat does this volatile environment pose to the detainees, and several thousand are going to be moved there, especially when considering this will be a tent city exposed to storms and potentially even hurricanes?
I think the storms are a real concern, but I'll say this, when it comes to the wildlife, I'm more concerned for the wildlife than the folks on the site. I've actually waded in the wetlands not far from that site myself, waist deep in the water, no problem, wasn't attacked by alligators. The idea that these are vicious animals out to attack people is rather absurd.
Well, look at that. Hey, Dave, that's Elise Bennett. She's the Florida director and senior attorney for Center for Biological Diversity. I love diversity. I have to tell you, I don't care about the people that are there in Alligator, the Alcatraz. I care about the animals and the environment. I went knee deep in the water, and I'm still here, and everything is fine. So I think everything's going to be fine, but the animals won't be fine. And I care about them more than I care about the people. How was that? Was that a good impersonation of what you just did? Was that kind of almost
not too bad, but it sounds like we need more alligators.
Yeah, we need more alligators. Clearly. So that's a wildlife director who went on to CNN and said that the alligators are the victims here and that they're not even dangerous. I went in the water and everything was fine. I can't. My head hurts. I can't. I can't do it.
Number 1.
So well with the federal government. It's been just a beautiful, beautiful partnership. So, Ron, I'd like to thank you personally. You're my friend, and you'll always be my friend. And we may have some skirmishes even in the future. I doubt it, but I will always come back because we just we have blood that seems to match pretty well. We have a relationship that's been a very strong one for a long period of time, and I appreciate it. Very much appreciate it.
Well, that was some kind words from the President of the United States sitting next to the Governor, Ron DeSantis, there at the Alligator Alcatraz, and maybe have some skirmishes even in the future. I doubt it, but always come back. Friend, and you will always be my friend. That was very Star Trek-ian right there.
Drew's Top 5.
Right? Was it? Right, D? Wasn't that? That was like when what's his name? When Spock's saving the USS Enterprise and he's getting ready to die and he's on the one side of the glass and there's like nuclear stuff all over the place and Captain Kirk comes running over and Spock puts his hand up on the glass and he says, "I am and will always be your friend." And then he dies. But there won't be any death in this. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that was. You see what? Did you know anything? You have no idea what I'm talking about. Nope. I'm on an island, everybody. It's another day where Drew is on an island. Okay, there might be one or two people out there who are like, "Yes, get me my pocket protector." Okay, sorry. I'm only kidding. Only sort of kidding. Let's move on now. Oh, I got this for you, D. I waited till nearly the end of the program to get this one queued up because who doesn't love...
Holy Toledo.
Holy Toledo, guys, back. Mr. Enton from CNN, according to CNN data, looking at President Trump and how he's doing so far. GOP who strongly approve of President Trump. So here we go to CNN and Holy Toledo guy who's getting ready to tell us something that we probably already know, but it's shocking to CNN, I think. Let's listen.
I mean, every politician would like this number here, especially to see it go up. How about compared to other presidents who were Republicans?
Yeah, it's history making. It's history making. What are we talking about here?
What are we talking about here?
So why don't we look back? We have all the presidents, Republican presidents, going back over the last 35, 36, 37 years. What are we talking about? GOP who strongly approved 5 months in. Look at this. George H.W. Bush, Bush 41, 46%. Bush Ding. 43, 59. Ding. You see Trump, the first term, 53. Ding. But look at this, 63%. He beats all the other Republicans on the board here. And I was looking even back since Reagan. And get this, Donald Trump beats Ronald Reagan when it comes to the strongly approved 5 months. And, of course, Reagan was coming off that high after that assassination attempt. So the bottom line is Donald Trump is making history with the Republican base. He is more beloved by this Republican base than any Republican base loved any GOP president 5 months in. It is history making.
Oh,
ding, ding, ding.
That's a triple ding right there from the D-ding. Wow. More than Ronald Reagan, 63%, 5 months into his presidency, more beloved than any Republican president since George H.W. Bush. Whoa. That's some might say bigly right there. Just wanted to put that out there. And I also wanted to play the Holy Toledo guy because...
Holy Toledo!
Because if I don't get the Holy Toledo guy in during the show, then D gets very upset. Right, D? You get a little cranky, don't you?
I wouldn't say upset. I would say let down.
Right, exactly. Or cranky, as I put it. Speaking of cranky, CNN's very cranky about the fact that this administration, the Trump administration and Marco Rubio announcing that USAID, which we come to discover was being used by Democrats and the CIA and others as a slush fund to do all kinds of things that go against the Constitution and the rule of law. Well, certainly go against the will of the American people. It was not a pretty thing, you know, for all of the things that we are told that USAID was doing. There were a lot of question marks about some of the other things that were going on and the funding that we heard about for the past couple of months. And so now we had this little bit from CNN.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is hailing the end of USAID, the nation's largest foreign aid agency.
Yeah, the thing is that it's also about the corrupt things that were going on in all the funding of certain things to overthrow governments and do really bad things with that money and giving it to Democrats here in this country and all the kind of stuff that was happening. It's not a really good look. As long as you don't say anything like millions of people will die because of it, because that would be really crazy and exaggerated.
Even as a new analysis finds that its closure could contribute to some 14 million deaths in the next 5 years.
Oh, like right on cue. Look, I didn't even listen to that clip. And well, I mean, I saw it on the screen. It says could contribute to 14 million deaths in the next 5 years. But it's like clockwork. I didn't have to see it. I could have closed my eyes and listened to it and know that they were going to say something like that. 17 million, 50 million, 100 million people off Medicaid in the United States. No, that's not what happened. It's going on with the One Big Beautiful Bill. 14 million people could die because of what's... Well, no. The money's being shifted to the State Department. That's not what's happening at all. There's going to be more oversight on what's going on with USAID money. It's not... Nobody's going to die of people that need it, and there's goodwill to get this money and help to people. We're gonna do things like that. We're just the corrupty things. We're not gonna do. They failed to leave that part out. The money's still there. It's going to the State Department now. They're just shutting down the USAID, the offices, the U.S. Agency for International Development. That's what's happening. But not to CNN. People are gonna die. Dogs and cats getting along all over town. It's gonna be terrible. That's what they want you to feel and think. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it here at all. All right. I was going to save this to the end of the show, but D, I'm going to show you this now because I only need a couple of minutes. Remember earlier in the program, I said I'm going to show you a video that's going to make you very, very happy. And I think that we're not going to have our face eaten off after all by AI and robots. Okay, here we go. China launched its first humanoid robot soccer league in Beijing. I'm going to play the video, and I want you to check it out and see whether or not you understand what I'm talking about. This is AI robots playing soccer. Check this out, D. That's what they look like playing soccer right now. Most of them are getting dragged off the field. Some of them are just falling flat on their face. Every once in a while, the ball gets kicked. They're falling over each other. The robots are tumbling.
All right, so there's hope.
Right. So if you can't see, if you're in your car right now and you're listening, maybe streaming, this is what's going on right now. The robots are looking for the ball. They can't even find it. They're kicking each other. They're falling over each other. It looks like they're just marching in place and they don't know what they're... It's giving us all hope that maybe they're not going to eat our face yet. So they were very excited in China to launch this humanoid robot soccer league. And by the looks of it, they can't even get the robots to stand up, let alone score a goal. So it's sort of like, I guess it's more entertaining than real soccer in a lot of ways. And they said, "Oh, did I say that's not very funny?" No, don't do that. Don't do that. Soccer is very, very entertaining. It's why it's the number one sport in the United States. Is soccer the number one sport in the United States?
No, soccer is the number one sport in the world.
What are you trying to say? Sorry, we
trying
don't...
to say your joke is failed.
Yeah, well, we don't do things like Norway.
This is what you do.
No, Bernie, we don't. We don't do things like Norway. Sorry, we don't do that. No, soccer's a good sport. Anyway, cards and letters. Carry the station, and Dee will file it away for us. Sure, boy.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz, where everyone is welcome. You see what I did there? Chomp, chomp, chomp. We have the greatest gators. Nobody's ever seen gators like this. I get along very well with them, by the way, but we have the greatest and biggest and strongest alligators with the biggest teeth. Their teeth are bigger than Kathy Hochul's teeth. You know, I call her the bucktooth Botox bandit of Buffalo, and she's got huge teeth. The Wicked Witch of the Northeast. You look at her, and these gators' teeth are bigger, and they keep them in their mouth, unlike another bloodthirsty reptile by the name of Nancy Pelosi. You know, you need a windshield wiper to get through a conversation with her because she's spitting all the time.
All right, Sean Farash. Okay. Come on, that was mildly funny, right? Just a little bit. The alligator.
Yeah, he's talented.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Sean Farash announcing the opening of Alligator Alcatraz. Yeah, a lot of fun audio today. How about this little nugget from earlier today? The president, the governor, Ron DeSantis. You have DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, and somebody is asking a question about what's going on there in Alligator Alcatraz and this setup. And,
I think our viewers at home should note that this is air-conditioned facilities.
Right, air-conditioned facilities. So they're talking about how it's pretty decent in this big old tent, air conditioning and the like.
So if any of the news claims they're keeping them out in the hot, humid South Florida, that is wrong. It's probably 62 degrees here, to be honest.
Hey, Biden wanted me in here, okay? That's it. He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but he wanted me in here, that son of a...
He added that little part at the end. So there's the president who was talking about Biden. Biden wanted him in the tent. Oh boy, funny stuff. All right, some of the other things that we are keeping an eye on have to do with I don't know. Dee, have you been keeping an eye on the Sean Diddy Puffy Combs trial, whatever?
No,
okay.
Not too much.
I got to be honest. I really haven't followed it. It's too sordid and just ugly. It's just not for me. But the jury reached a partial verdict in the Diddy trial on some of these charges, but the verdicts haven't been read yet. So they're still working on that. I guess there's 4 out of 5 counts that they are good on. The judge is like, listen, the last one, let's go. You got to get this one figured out. I guess it's the biggest one. It's the racketeering charge. So I don't know. There'll be a bit of news on that tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that story. So we're waiting the partial verdict. And I don't know. I guess we'll tell you what it is tomorrow. In the meantime, we also keep an eye on some of the bigger news. June 2025, 0 illegals released into the U.S. once again, 2 months in a row. How is that possible? Well, it's possible with this president, no doubt. So we have that we're keeping an eye on, and I just saw this. Lululemon announced a lawsuit against Costco for selling cheaper knockoffs of its popular products. How is it possible that isn't Lululemon like the pants that some people can wear and a lot of people shouldn't wear? Those,
I don't know what that is.
That's the skin tight pants that women wear, where you're like
spandex.
Yeah, well,
leggings.
Yeah, like the spandex stuff, but the Lululemon, I think it's the sporting ones. I mean, they all look the same, but. So they're announcing a lawsuit against Costco for selling cheaper knockoffs of its popular products, which I don't understand. So are they labeled Lululemon, or are they just saying they just look like it? They all look the same. How could you even tell the difference? I don't know. Lululemon.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m. Monday,
and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
All right, it's Lululemon. I didn't know that.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.